extraordinary mounting danger continued as the heroes fought for their lives alongside the sudden appearance of drow wardens. The defeat of the fungi and Goliath spider came at the cost of a few of these drow warriors, but the drow were thrilled to see the demise of such deadly predators who had been harrying them for some time. Offering rest in their forward outpost, the drow welcomed the heroes into their makeshift home, eagerly asking the surface dwellers the whys and hows they came to be in the Darklands frontiers.
Hello there, creature. Oh, wrong show.
Leave it in. Leave it in. Leave it in.
Leave it in. Leave it in. The energy's too high. We leave it in.
We need the Freeman cut.
Yeah. So we found ourselves in a situation where we've been introduced to a bunch of drow, and they've kind of taken us to their post, and they've offered us some sort of hospitality. So that got me thinking and scrolling through the intro banter suggestions. And I came up with, since they're offering us hospitality, I was wondering who you would offer hospitality to. If you could invite one famous person to dinner, alive or dead, who would it be and why? I am ready for this. So if y'all aren't, I can take point. But
take point.
Yeah, take point.
Okay. So this was really easy for me. It's a woman by the name of Elizabeth Cochrane Seaman. And I'm guessing that doesn't ring any bells because she'd be more well known by her pen name, Nellie Bly. Does that ring any bells?
Still crickets for me.
I'm illiterate.
Okay. So Nellie Bly, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the most hardcore women who have ever lived.
Okay.
We're just going to hit some cliff notes here. In 1887, she legitimately invented undercover journalism when she got herself committed to a mental institution for women in New York because of the bad practices there, and then reported on it.
No way.
Yeah.
The next year, in 1888, this reporter decided she was going to travel around the world following Jules Verne's Phineas Fogg around the world in 80 days. But not only did she beat 80 days, she broke the world record doing it in 72 days, the year after she invented undercover journalism.
Hell yeah.
The year after that, from 1889 to 1895, she wrote 12 novels that we thought were lost to time, but were recently rediscovered in 2021, so I'm very excited to read those. After that, she retired, married rich, he died, she took over his manufacturing company, invented the stackable trash can and a new lined milk can, holding 2 patents, and then when the war broke out in 1918, she was one of the first women to go and be a journalist on the Eastern Front and was promptly arrested on suspicion of being a British spy.
Oh my God.
And she died young at 57.
Wow. Okay. What has she done lately?
That is, of course, extraordinarily long list of impressive feats. I do have a question for you, though, James. What is your purpose for being hospitable to Nellie Bly? Why are you sitting her down for dinner? Is it to pick her brain, or is it to say, you deserve a break, just chill out for a night, just
no,
good. I got you.
The same reason I have dinner with everybody, and it's I want stories. If I'm going to trade you my time, I want to hear stories. I want to hear about that 72 record-breaking days from her account. Like, we can read it in the book that she wrote, but it wasn't very well published. I want to hear about the struggles of being, I think she was 25 when she invented undercover journalism, and like how that happened. I want to hear about what it was like to knock out 12 novels in 6 years. Like, this woman has just lived such a rich and fast life that I imagine she's just a wealth of stories and information. And that's all I really want, is to be entertained.
Right.
I'll hop in. Mine's Jesus.
Okay.
All right.
No, I'm with it. Like,
Lots of free bread.
Well, I mean, like,
and wine.
yeah, like the call out is to Christian Jesus. 1, did you exist? 2, son of God, yay or nay? You know?
Oh, I
It's
love
like,
it.
It could have just been a regular dude.
The people want to know.
Scott,
Yeah.
I really appreciate your skepticism. Like, genuinely. Like, that's a fucking amazing answer.
Yeah.
He could just be some guy who is from that time period.
It just got caught up. Yeah, just like,
Dude, maybe he was just super fucking chill.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot more to Life of Brian than they really let on.
Yeah, for real.
So there you go. Jesus.
Right on.
Okay, that's Scott's answer. Oh my god, didn't see that coming.
Duncan, you got anything?
So I'm kind of struggling here because I'm like, the people that I think of are a bunch of really creative types that are like, you know, classical music composers and poets and authors and stuff. And all of those people seem like they'd be a pretty fucking rough hang. 'Cause they're really weird goddamn people. Like Beethoven, I would love to hang out with Beethoven, but he's just the crankiest motherfucker in the world.
And
Like,
he's
I want to
deaf.
learn
Like, how
stuff
do you
about
talk?
music from him. But yeah, you know, early Beethoven, I'll dig him up when he can still hear. Or, you know, like somebody like Mendelssohn, or somebody like, I don't know, like Edgar Allan Poe always seemed like he'd have some weird stuff to say, but fuck, I would not want to meet that guy.
He'd just be a weird dude.
So yeah, I really don't know. So my great grandfather, because I never got to meet him. How about
Oh,
that?
there you
Right
go.
on.
There you go.
Respect. Cam?
John Brown.
Oh, good call. I was thinking that. Also a weird hang.
Absolutely a weird hang, very intense, but
Who's John Brown?
John Brown was an abolitionist from Kansas, if I remember correctly. And he went hard as fuck. Like,
Yeah,
he was
hard.
about that life. Like, there's a shirt that always reminds me of it. It's the John Brown Gun Club, and it's done in like camo and like traditional hunting. So like, conservatives will be like, hell yeah, and then they see John Brown, they get pissed off.
Oh.
Yeah, very much a take no quarter.
Absolutely.
The slaves will be free
Yeah.
by any means necessary kind of guy. That hell a lot of respect for him.
And any movies made about him? It sounds like a movie make kind of
there
guy.
was actually a TV show that was made up of it, and like, you may have seen one of the clips is like, he comes in the name of justice and you come in the name of chains, and just like, I can send you a clip. It goes hard as fuck.
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
it is intense.
I'm into that.
The Good Lord Bird is what it's called.
Yeah, good Lord Bird, thank you.
Good Lord Bird,
And it's like, I only have a short time to live, only one death to die, and I will die fighting for this cause. There will be no peace in this land until slavery is done for. Like, absolutely an intense fucking
damn.
motherfucker,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
boy, God, I just,
Whole family was about it too. Like the kids after him were all hard as fuck. Just a line of badasses.
Again, would you bring him in for dinner just to give him a day off, or
It's a day off, and just like, yeah, like, I mean, just like meeting somebody with that level of intensity, like that much about it, like, I think that would just be a very interesting dinner and conversation. Like,
That dude has some stories.
yeah, he's
yeah. I think one of the, if I'll jump in here since I'm the last one, I guess. The first thing that did come to mind, and I wasn't sure if I was going to say it or not, but it's oddly connected. It's oddly connected to Scott's choice. It's something that does come to mind is Ricky Gervais, and I know Ricky Gervais is extremely controversial in some ways, but there's a part of me that feels like he and I went through a couple of similar motions in our lives and progression when it to religion and overcoming some emotional trauma. And I've always really appreciated his writing and his approach, even though it's like so obvious and so in a particular direction. It's really quite on the nose in some ways, but the older he gets, the more it becomes less that way and more subtle and more diverse. And I just have I've just a pretty strong respect for him and the musician Tim Minchin, which is kind of in the same vein. Mad respect for them and what they've done and how it relates to myself. But let's be real. Let's be for real. Let's be for real. And I'd really just love to have all four of you in the same room for dinner.
Oh.
Oh.
And all the Patreons.
And all the patrons and the ones who don't even subscribe but are active in the Discord because we love them too. It's not about the money.
Once we hit 100,000 on Patreon, we can start looking at the Uncharted NorthCon.
Hell yeah. James has done the math.
Well, shall we shift gears into this action and see what drow hospitality is like?
Hey, yes.
I never said I had a segue.
Yeah, it will be somewhere between John Brown and Jesus.
No. Fuck that.
And if I have anything to say about it, a little dose of Ricky Gervais.
On the spectrum between kill 'em all and save 'em all, I think you're right. Ricky Gervais does fall in the middle.
I just can't believe Freeman said Mussolini in there.
He loves pasta. What can I say?
I'm even more surprised at my impressive Scott impression when I said it.
Oh boy.
It was bang on. Let's set the scene again, shall we? You are in a I'll remind you now, what was once probably a very richly appointed room, as it's described, but is now, of course, filled with mold and decay. Yeah, as James said much earlier, that this is a bit of a outpost of sorts for the drow, whom just joined you in the fray against all of these creatures in the big sort of fungi jungle cavern. It was quite the mayhem, and they lost 3 of their own in the battle, and there's few of them left. But they have sat down to talk to you about your story, why you're here, and we'll give a little. They're really quite friendly in a way to bring you in and help you or watch you patch your wounds, and they're interested in why you're here and how you can help. Their interest is certainly piqued at your presence, and they are keen to discuss. I can't quite remember where we left off in the conversation, but we kind of have 2 of them taking a bit charge. There's one, what's called a drow warden, who was a bit roughed up, who's a bit more of a soldier type. But you've learned through the conversation, unless you want to roleplay this, that one of these drow is named Iribo, and one of them is Nizuros.
So, just gonna say that Harold feels like he kind of put his foot in his mouth during the conversation previous to this, stepping in where he didn't have a lot of knowledge as to what was going on. So I think he is kind of waiting for the conversation to continue before he chimes back in.
Yeah, perhaps there's a bit of a lull at some point of like everyone considering what's happening between these 2 factions, as it were.
I think Lump is kind of sizing up the drow, and can I roll a society to kind of know more about them?
Of course.
Oof, that's a 19.
I'd say that's enough given your own experience in the vaults at the very least. You probably would have heard some stories along the way, but you've also been around for a long time, even though you have a lot of muddled memories. And yeah, the drow are, they get a bit of a bad rap. Often surface dwellers there's so many like myths and legends and urban myths and all these things about them, so they are often depicted as quite evil. But it's more that they're militaristic a lot of the time. And they have their own societies in which, they have people that aren't, of course, as well. So, that, especially in this case, you're very likely up against a militaristic, group of people. But I'll give you quickly as well a bit of line of logic. They're on the outskirts and the frontiers of their own Darklands. So this is like remote for their kind, where you are.
Gotcha.
Not sure if that means much to you, like you Cam, or you, your character, but there might be some significance in there.
Where did we leave the conversation with them? Were they inviting us?
Lump had just filled them in on what we were doing down here.
Mm-hmm.
Because they speak Elven, and everybody else was kind of just chilling. Harold, I believe, was in on some of the conversation because Harold speaks the other language.
Sakroth.
Yeah. Nirkaj, I believe, was doing a thorough search of this room, and Ruff was playing with the hunting spider.
Yes.
And did we feel like there was more to learn other than what Lump just found out about them and this being on the outskirts of their society?
They hadn't actually told us anything. We had told them what we were doing. They had only really assured us that this outpost was secure, and that they are from Ildaris, but it's deeper. They hadn't told us anything about themselves or anything like that on camera, I guess is the best way to put that.
They haven't told you much, but I think through retellings of what's happened so far in the story, Lump is the most likely to know that there is an outpost, like a proper full-on outpost named Ildaris.
Yeah, and we got that through Lump's talks with Glash, because Lump is the only living party member who knew Glash.
That's fucking crazy.
Right?
It is crazy. And Lump was not there when Glash was saved, along with the other...
I guess that's not technically true. The only active party member who knows Glash.
Right.
Nick met Glash.
Oh, yeah, Nick met Glash, yeah, briefly.
But they didn't really do anything.
Kind of shoehorn that in a bit, yeah. But for fun. But yeah, like no one was there when the people in the kitchen of the Warped Brew Tavern were saved. But Lump did meet Glash. Who was there when Glash left? Was it Ruff? No.
It was Izori.
It was Zori. Okay.
Zori said goodbye to Glash.
That's right.
Want to see them go, or him go.
So yeah, it's a very it's got to be Lump to realize this connection.
Yeah. So Lump is going to see the lull and just kind of nod their head over to one of the corners and try to get the party over. So we're on the outskirts of their territory, as it were. They have a small... Would I know the size of Ildaris?
You would not, no.
Okay. There is a settlement of... I'm not quite sure how big it is, but it's called Ildaris. And I don't know if we want to just continue pressing on with our own mission, or if we want to take a quick aside to go see if they have anything there that may be of use to us. Potentially backup or equipment that we can't get our hands on in Otari. But this might just be my own bias left over from my past life, but Drow in general kind of, they stayed behind when Earthfall happened, and they turned to less than kind measures to survive, and there's still some of that left in them. You shouldn't judge them because of my own prejudice. I'm just telling you why I have my reservations about going there.
I honestly wish I mean, sure, we all wish it, but in this moment, as the GM, I wish Gilda was here. Gilda would know how to handle this.
I mean, I wish Gilda was here.
Because it would be soldiers with soldiers kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like Lump has that soldier experience, but just there's still that
so far gone. Yeah,
ingrained racism apparently.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm sorry for not trying to have a fleshed out character instead of a completely good person.
Fleshed out.
I believe they wrote this out in the remaster.
Have we been invited to their settlement, or is this just
but
more
I could
we're
ask.
going? It does not seem polite to invite ourselves, but perhaps we could share a meal or a gift, perhaps. In some cultures, a gift is a symbol of goodwill, and since 3 of them did give their lives for us, I guess. I mean, they seem to go after the spider, and why did they go after the spider?
Oh, they were hunting. It was from my limited understanding, it's kind of a test or a trial. It's a hunt. So that was just, they were hunting the spider on purpose, and our goals happened to align. Once again, don't take my cynicism as a means of they didn't do it to help us, but I wouldn't count on their help again.
Lump, I'm gonna trust your judgment as a soldier and how you want to go about that. I do know how to share a fire and a meal with folks, but anything further than that about the proper etiquette, I defer to you.
It may be wise not to turn our backs on potential allies. There aren't exactly a lot of people willing to fight with us down here.
Yes, we also shouldn't turn our backs on potential enemies.
And who says they are either? That decision is up to them. They have extended us gratitude and hospitality. We should return the favor. I think. I'm unfamiliar with their culture, but reciprocation feels obliged. Perhaps we can help them bring the spider back to their settlement, where they can taxidermy it or gild it into a statue, or I don't know what people do nowadays.
It's taxidermy. They typically crack open the exoskeleton and then stuff it with wires and mesh and cloth.
The kids love it at Halloween.
They do.
So there's like that lull in the conversation, you take a moment to discuss amongst yourselves. You see the drow doing the same, and as they do, they patch up the wounds of as best they can for their one kind of foot soldier, the drow warden, who then is instructed to leave the room. And the spider naturally returns to its web. Yeah, so these 2 other drow kind of walk back over to you as the conversation lulls on your end. And one of them speaks up and says, "Well, it seems we have at least some neutrality between us. There's a part of us who agree that you are, in a sense, comrades in arms. You're welcome to stay in our little post here as much as you wish, but and we could share more stories. But we have perhaps a small suspicion in your goal. We'd love to hear more about it. Perhaps the rest of our people and the proper outpost that we have here would be inclined to open its arms to you if our goals align in the way."
Is there anything in these... How far into the vaults have you made it? Is this as far as you've come?
The vaults, most of us soldiers have only heard little bits about. It's not part of our mission, as it were. We know that there are levels here and above that lead to the surface, and we know they go down a bit as well, but mostly we are here to maintain the frontier. We're here to establish a safe ground for our people, which has been difficult for generations, because it is the Darklands, after all.
Can I roll a warfare lore to see how they get along with the Caligny?
Sure.
Absolutely terrible rolls. 16 total.
Yeah, you just don't know if there's any special relationship between Drow and Caligny at all.
Okay.
You couldn't even get the vibe that they know the Caligny are here.
Lump didn't want to be like, oh, by the way, there's Caligny here, and start a race war.
Caligny,
Get him! But yeah, but also, if the Caligny can be, like, if they do get along, then like, oh, hey, here's a settlement so you can get the fuck out of here and quit starving. So that's where I was going with it, is like, is this a positive relationship, or at least neutral one where they can take the refugees?
You really don't know, and you can't tell. Yeah.
Yes, we would be willing to share more stories, and we also have food, as it were. If I don't know if you'd like what we have, it's just rations, but if you don't mind, you say this is the frontier for you, correct?
Considering the depths of the Darklands and many of the homes that our soldiers come from, yes, it could only really be called that. Most of us have spent little time this close to the surface, as far as we're told, anyway.
Harold looks side to side at the rest of his party and says, how many more floors down did y'all say the abomination vaults go?
There is 2 more below here, I believe. This is 8, as Sage Tulok explained it to me. I think this is the farm caverns. And next is the hunting grounds.
I see.
I like the sound of that. So you see, we've got 2 stories further to go down, he says in Sackfroth. How far would you say your settlement was from here?
Ildaris is quite close. It's a little trek through the caverns to the proverbial east of here.
A day, 2 days, a week?
Hours. Quick.
Oh, wow. And this is the wilderness? This is the frontier?
It's the edges of, it's like...
like Lump is incredulous, like just...
Yeah.
Like...
It's hard to maintain territory down here.
I see some confusion.
Yes.
Ildaris itself is on the frontier.
It is a frontier settlement. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, this is a forward outpost.
This is for scouting. This is for hunting.
I see.
This little area, little home we've made for ourselves.
Population of 100 or less, most likely. Then.
Oh yes, we keep it quite tight. We have regular caravans coming in from larger settlements. Although I say regular, they're quite erratic actually, but it's enough to keep us supplied for, well, like I said, generations.
I see. Is there anything we could procure from the surface to aid you or make your lives easier?
Not really in our purview. You'd have to speak to our quartermaster or perhaps our leader.
Okay.
Ruff will proffer up a potion of bark skin from his bag. He doesn't have much, but he is going to offer it up with both hands, averting his eyes. A what he believes to be a universal gesture of,
Okay.
Thanks to a degree. Like he really wants to try and even the playing field here. Like 3 of their number died during this event, and he still not been convinced that it wasn't to help them. I don't know how much of this is just happening in conversation and Lump's translating afterwards, but he wants to give them something, and this I think would be valuable to them as opposed to most of the other stuff he has.
Okay, so you walk up with this potion and you kind of like give like not subservient, but like, you know, a proper offering to them, and
Deferential, yeah.
And something kind of reverent almost. And you can see the two drow kind of look at each other in a partially amused but also appreciative kind of glance. And one of them sort of bows a bit and accepts the potion, not fully understanding what it is you've offered. But then with that moment in particular, they kind of eye each other again, and one of them gives like a really subtle nod. And then the other says, "We were just wondering if you are in fact interested in meeting our leader. If you are in fact interested in eating our..." Oh wait.
Wow.
Eating our leader.
Wow.
I
told you, they're evil.
They're run by the Pillsbury Doughboy.
If you are in fact interested in meeting our leader, it would behoove us if a reasonable amount of credit for the death of the big spider went to us. Is that amenable for your lot?
Ruff looks over his shoulder at Lump.
Lump will roll sense motive, or do you want that blind to GM?
No, go for it.
All right, another 5 for a 22.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just looking to get a bit of little street cred.
Nick is contemplating the idea of a fantasy bus to throw them under.
Yeah, they're looking for, they want to take credit, and they're being pretty upfront about it.
They did no small amount of work. A bunch of their numbers were lost. Like, we just came in and thiefed the kill at the end, as far as I remember.
Oh, they saved our ass.
But you fought so much more at the same time, right? Like, you killed a bunch of things, but they're just asking for the spider.
Yeah, I mean, that feels okay to James and probably Ruff. Like, Ruff doesn't care about the credit. He's here for one single purpose.
The food.
The sausage rolls.
New and different cultures, sausage rolls.
The mushroom rolls.
Harold turns to them and says, "As one big game hunter to another, it was your quarry. You can take the spoils."
We just want the credit.
And they sort of look at each other again
Jokes.
with like they can't having a harder time holding their grins back and kind of nodding their heads. We are very appreciative. We will speak on your behalf if you would like to meet our leader and the rest of Ildaris.
As long as they speak in a language one of us understands, Ruff has no qualms.
Yeah. And we can always just get
same
Tulak to
languages,
cast
basically.
translate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that for sure.
Yeah. Oh, Tulak? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
real
find the
quick.
rules for true resurrection real quick.
I have a scroll to translate for this exact
Yeah.
reason.
Okay. For this, I just want to. Lump just wants to backtrack, make sure we're not leaving anything. Can we roll to identify these items too?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Yeah, put them in the party stash. One of them is a wooden shield, but the wood is very lightweight and is of a dark ebony color with a slight purple tint. It's a crafting check to identify that one. Otherwise, you have a sort of little bauble made from a green kind of gemstone, and you have a bag of dust.
Crazy purple featherwood and pocket sand. Love it.
That's your
like
episode title.
Dust.
I hate that Ruff has the best crafting at +5.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
I
I haven't used this yet, but I have diverse lore. So it's a kind of like bardic lore where I can take a -2 penalty to a recall knowledge using esoteric lore and use it for any topic.
Of which you're like a master at,
Sick.
right? Like esoteric lore.
does that identify magic items though?
Ask the GM, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to allow it because this is actually not a magic item. That's why it's crafting only.
Yeah, okay.
Roll
I
it up.
think this is just a dark wood sturdy shield.
22.
It is, in fact, a Darkwood shield, but it's been renamed to Duskwood in the remaster. But that's it. It's
Better
just a
name.
Duskwood shield. It's not a sturdy shield. It's just Duskwood. Duskwood is basically the bulk is reduced by 1, with no effect on the item that normally has light bulk. The price of an item of Duskwood based on the items. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's just a lighter shield.
I kind of prefer crazy purple featherwood, but whatever.
Yeah,
I'm a dunk.
it's still worth 440 gold. So
Oh fuck, sell that thing.
good sell.
Yes.
Good sell. Yeah.
Gonna go ahead and roll a religion to identify the bauble.
The bauble.
I got a 19.
No, you don't know.
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
You're rolling. Rocks
That's
today.
a 37 on Arcana for Ruff.
Ruff walks up with a critical success, shaking his head at Lump, going, "Don't even bother."
I won't.
That's what the ref sounds like.
The jade bauble is a bit of jade that is usually carved in the shape of a duelist or sometimes a multi-armed creature. When you activate the bauble, it magically draws the attention of foes. Until the start of your next turn, enemies within reach of the weapon the talisman is affixed to, so it is a talisman, are off guard. So 1 action activate. That's pretty wild, actually.
There's no limit on this.
No, talismans are one-time
Talisman
use.
or 1 use. Yeah, they're consumable
Oh,
tag.
Okay.
If you get a spell, I think there's spell hearts are multiple use, but talismans are, 1 time. So you have it on your weapon, you activate it, and everyone within the reach of that weapon is off guard until the end of or the start of your next turn.
Go ahead and throw that on Nirkaj.
Yes,
That's
a
a
Nick
dancing
one.
spear.
Tailor made.
It's crazy. You get surrounded by a bunch of creatures.
And is huge, and then everything's in reach.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
I was listening back to, I guess it's 121 doing the review, and holy fuck, it's awesome when Nick is gigantic.
Just Ant-Man the fuck out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be preparing that spell at
Yeah.
4th level forever now.
That's amazing.
There's no reason to go any higher.
Yeah.
I got a 21 on the dust.
The dust, you don't know.
Dust of disappearance. 31.
Yeah, it's dust of disappearance. You are correct. It's a powder that shimmers like 1,000 tiny motes of light. Activating the dust by sprinkling it on yourself or a creature within reach casts a 4th rank invisibility spell with a duration of 1 minute on that creature. The invisibility can't be negated or seen through any spell of 3rd level or lower or item of 5th level or lower. 1 action to activate.
Dust of disappearance in 1E was bonkers.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
way too good.
And 4th level it doesn't end with a hostile act. It is straight up heightened. It is extremely powerful, yeah. But it is consumable. It is a 1-time thing, yeah.
Okay.
One and done.
I wouldn't mind the dust of disappearance.
Yep. Go ahead.
It's in the party stash. You choose.
You're the one that needs to be off, like getting off guard on for free. Maggot spell striking, just being able to run around crazy, go nuts. Like
That's kind of why I want it.
Yeah, 4th level invisibility is one of the highest rated spells for Magus. Easily.
Yeah.
Harold would have taken it if it was ketamine, but now that I know it's dust of disappearance.
trying to get K
That's
hold up
he
in
was
here.
just in a K-hole this whole time.
Yeah, he
He's
just
just-
thought he was 2 people playing with weird.
He's convinced his enemies have weaknesses.
Hey guys, I'm back in town. I just ran out of ketamine.
Gotta re-up.
Turns out this whole thing was just a St. Elsewhere of Harold's. All be a dream.
Oh, God.
I've heard people describe thaumaturges as like, oh, what's the fantasy? How do you like make it feel realistic? Oh, they literally will weaknesses upon people. It's their will is so strong for it to be there that it exists. And you're like, that sounds like drug use. Yeah. That's all your items identified. Also, I'll take this moment to give everyone a hero point. Because let's be honest, that chained, what'd you call it? That rolling combat, the rolling encounter was huge. Yeah, and it's funny how things got fucked up, but still worked out. And like such as Nick, huge Nick, like stepping or tumbling through into the spider web. It was awesome.
Wrote in a human encounter Pete.
Nice.
Yeah. It was great. It was a great intro for me to bring the drow in. It just all worked out so well. So everyone has a hero point.
Good job, Freeman.
Thank you.
Did Nick find anything on his thorough searching while he couldn't understand the conversation that was going on?
Yeah, if you kind of wandered into the back room, you'll find there's a bunch of like provisions and stuff for the peeps here. And it's some rations, it's some bolts. There's a cask of water, a cask of fungus wine, a long sword, a hand crossbow. Roll me a perception check.
No, you know what, I will.
Then you find nothing else.
It was a natural one, so you know
You
what.
find nothing else.
Ooh, I rolled a natural 2.
Harold
Hey.
did not enter that room. Only Nick did because he was the one who didn't understand what's going on.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna hero point that because I
You
don't
pick up a
wanna die
rock
later.
and you are convinced it's lucky.
Ooh. He will skip the stone and
Stick
take
it
the
in your
bolt.
boot.
That's where the best place to keep a stone is in your boot.
Yeah. You can have the bolts. If you actually want the bolts, you can have them. There are literally 50 of them. So
Yeah, I'll take them.
fill your boots, as it were.
Do you mind if I take some of those? Because I am interested in that hand crossbow.
Yeah, I'll take 30 and you can take 20.
That's great. Thank you.
So Nick comes out with 50 bolts and a hand crossbow, and they're like, can we help you? Did you need some of supplies? Or
Oh, these were just free, were they?
well, I suppose...
We don't actually speak the same language.
Yeah. So you're standing there just like deer headlights.
Ooh, I
just
like
like
these.
bolts in each arm.
I'm pretty sure those are the drows. I don't think they're free samples.
The two drows start laughing. They just start laughing. They give out a big guffaw. They're like, "It's fine. You've earned it. You've earned it, little kobold friend. It's totally fine. We have supplies aplenty of this sort."
Just gets the nod from Lump and starts grabbing them all up the floor.
Yeah.
All right. So should I throw anything in the stash for you guys, or
Nah. They'll
Also
sort it on
bolt.
their own. Yeah.
okay? Bolts in the hand crossbow. You're good. Okay.
As long as like we're not skipping any rooms behind us, like I'm down to go with them. But I feel like if you say we've searched everything that we need to search, then fuck it, we'll move on.
There are two places you know for sure you haven't. One is the dock that you decide not to stop at in the middle of the sort of underground river or waterway, and the other one was the door that said "Don't enter."
Okay.
Well, that's just good advice.
Yeah.
But everything else, like you're not really, you don't know if you missed anything, but those are the ones you know you missed. That's what I'm saying. Not to mention that like you don't know what else is also like in this like fungus forest. All you did was combat your way through it. There could be other things around, and not to mention the room that you found the Nihilith in. You haven't explored anything out there.
Okay. Yeah, I just basically want to go around spamming detect magic, see if there's any good magical loot we may have missed besides what we found so far. As soon as you say, okay, like you're good, then we'll just move it along.
So before we do that, does anyone else have anything they want to say to the drow in regards to Ildaris and
Will you be leading us to Eldaris, or do you want to just give us directions, or how would you like us to meet your leader? And is there anything you'd like us to tell them?
Oh yes, no, we would have to guide you. You will need the armed escort, as it were. You don't want to pass our checkpoints without approval from some of our own. It is not a place you walk up to. It is something. It's a place we have to bring you.
Understood.
Is there any customs we should know when we're going to meet your people?
I think you will be okay. So far, you have shown an effort of decorum, and that is enough for us. We are not a high court of some sort, as it were. We are soldiers. they will welcome you to their degree with our say-so. Though I should mention that arms are not permitted inside.
I can only take one of them off.
I beg your
And
pardon?
Lump will take off the prosthetic arm.
Oh, a joke, I see. Good.
Lump will smile with both mouths and put it back on.
Harold looks down at his cleaver. Nah, no arms for us or for everybody.
Oh, for outsiders, yeah. Of course, we are allowed our own arms. We retain our defense. It is our outpost. I understand that this is a big thing to ask, but as far as I am concerned, and my companion here, as far as the rules go, it is not negotiable unless you are to enter and find a way to negotiate it. But it is above our pay grade, as they say. I can promise you nothing other than this is the rule.
Very well. And then Lump is ready to go, assuming that we've done everything that I said.
I feel like I have to just prompt everyone for a sense motive here. Like it seems obvious you want to read that room. Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled so good finally. I rolled a 2 for 19.
Oh, I rolled a 3 for a 19.
Ooh, show off.
Lump's showing off, yeah. Anyone else?
I don't think Ruff would get enough context, not speaking the language,
Okay.
to even begin to sense motive.
Yeah.
It stands with a 19. It stands to reason that like these drow are just being honest with you. It's above their pay grade. That's that. It's the rule, and that's that. Whether or not you trust them is neither here nor there. So,
I'm not comfortable. I'm gonna use my new hero point.
oh, okay, go for it.
18.
Hey.
Now I'll know everything.
18 on the die, right?
No.
Well, who wants to get in a potential slap fight?
Oh, me.
With you or
Well, yeah, and then when we're done, we'll talk about going into Hildaris with these drow. No, I don't know. This could get hairy, and I do hate not having weapons when things happen.
I'm a spellcaster, so I'm okay. Obviously, I'm better when I can focus it through my weapon, but I've got enough range stuff that I feel like between that and my feats, I could help us escape.
Yeah.
All right.
But I would need to. I would want to do a long rest before giving up my weapon.
Yeah, they're in no hurry to bring you there. It's at your whim. If you want to explore the cavern, you're welcome to. If you want to stay here and rest, like you're absolutely welcome to. Do watches. They won't be offended. Like they're chill. They're appreciative.
What
they're
if we do
chill,
it in
and
teams?
they're licking their wounds.
So
Yeah.
like 2 of us rest, one who speaks the language and one who doesn't, and then one team searches, one who speaks the language and one who doesn't.
Sure, they're amenable to that. Yeah, they'll even offer the aid of their warden to assist you out there if they want. If you
Okay.
want.
Let's, we'll do these searches and then bed down for the night, since I
Okay.
think that seems fair.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so I want someone to do the math on what a full rest looks like while doing shifts of exploring.
Well, what time is the exploring? Like, what time is it?
So as you're ready to like kind of bed down, I guess, or as this conversation lulls, we're looking at about 2 in the afternoon, so it's like midday.
Yeah, so I mean, could we not just explore till 10 and then just do regular shifts?
Sure, yeah, I feel like that's
Also, yeah, if we're not in a rush, why don't we just all do it together and not split the party?
Yep.
up to you.
Okay. Full disclosure, I did already hit the long rest button, so if we find our way into a combat, I don't.
I want to expedite this. It's totally fine. Because I was actually thinking about this before we started recording today. I was thinking, what happens when like a big event happens like in the middle of like a forest? Like things scatter and there's a moment of like peace where like, things don't really come back to the area for a bit. Like this was a huge event. Where the natural flora and fauna were after you and they got destroyed and it was really, really quite harrowing. So whatever normally might have been there, maybe slinked away, it's not coming back for a bit. So we're just gonna play it like that. Like you've rocked the ecosystem here for a moment, so you know you have some breathing room. Tell me where you want to explore.
Fun fact: it would be fauna and funga.
Hey.
But as for
Get out.
And it would probably be megafauna too.
That's not a joke. It's actually flora, fauna, and funga.
No,
'Cause
I believe
they're-
you. I still want you to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, just basically go back out, follow the southern side back to the mushrooms across the bridge.
Mhm.
I feel like there was. Did we get descriptions for the 3 rooms? Because I remember we found the rust monster. Okay, we got descriptions
You
for all of
did
them.
not. I repeat, you did not explore the third one.
Okay.
We talked about this already, but you still didn't do it because what happened was you turned around and found the secret door. So you went north and attacked the Medusa.
Okay.
You did not inspect the third door.
I want to go through there, and then go back up and go through the little dock. Just check that. If it looks like encounter bait, we'll ignore it. But then also where the dread sloth was, check out over there as well.
Okay.
And then
So just to be clear, when I said everything's settled, I want to make sure that you're exploring places you've already been,
Gotcha.
not new
Okay.
places. I have to draw the line there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go to the second
I have
dock,
to draw
not
the-
the first dock, because there's 2 docks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's drawing the path. That's the path.
Not the
we're
one
going.
you passed by and didn't look at. Yeah, please.
Yeah, that is definitely encounter bait. We will be getting it.
we can't
into encounter when we
undo
get
the
there.
long rest mechanically here on the Foundry. So, okay, that's your path you want to take. I'm throwing down what you're picking up. Okay, no
I don't
problem.
know. I'm
So
just drawing shit.
that's okay.
It looks like a pretty cloud.
Watch out for that puffball in the
You make
northeast corner.
yeah. You make your way out of the little like what'd you call it? It's not outpost. What'd you call it, James?
I called it a forward outpost.
Yeah, there you go. And so you loop around. You perhaps have a moment where you realize, oh, we haven't checked that little hut out or whatever, that little room. So maybe we should come back to that when we're ready. And you have harrowing visions of the death of Tulok as you pass by that area, and you make your way back up to the route you took through the secret door. And when you enter the room where you met the Nihilith, where the Medusa was. Oh, sorry. You know what? Sorry. Let me quickly backtrack. I'm gonna ruin my own flow here. But when you step out of this forward outpost from the main room and into the hallway, you see the warden escorting the Medusa into the one room you haven't been in this forward outpost yet. And then the door closes behind them.
Well, that's fucking weird.
That is fucking weird.
And then you maybe, unless you stop to ask questions, then you go on your little trek here. You can always ask questions later too.
I got questions right now, but I can't ask them because we speak different languages.
Do you want to scroll translate?
No, I kind of like making jokes about it.
don't ruin the bitmonger.
Lump will pause for a second and just let their sense pass through the wall and see if they can feel like how the movement is going in there. Like, are they just putting the Medusa in a corner and then like moving away, or like?
Oh yeah, you have motion sense, right?
What's the motion in the ocean?
When you enter the room, or when they enter the room, you detect the warden escorting the Medusa, but you also detect a smaller third body in the room. There's someone else in there, and it stirs as they enter.
Is it the hunting spider?
No, the hunting spider is in fact outside in its own web. So you detect a smaller creature, and if you were to stop and concentrate on the motion, it appears to be chained up, and then you get the feeling that this Medusa is also being chained up.
Lump will wait a minute to see if the drow comes out, and if not, look over to one of the leaders.
It does. Eventually, the warden steps out and gives you like a A soldierish nod.
Lump will return the nod. And
then stands guard at the door.
yeah, Lump is super curious with the smaller. Is it Glash? Did we get Glash back? Oh my god, what if we got Glash back, guys?
That's Cam excited.
Yeah,
Not
that's-
Lump.
Lump like Glash? What do you mean?
I just know you want to play a Primal Caster again.
Oh yeah, I do love Primal Casters. But yeah, Lump doesn't see. Like this is probably the most humane way to deal with the Medusa that's been, never minded into oblivion. Like this is probably the most humane way to like handle this situation.
Right.
Doesn't like people being chained up.
Want to roll me a warfare lore real quick?
Oh, I rolled an 11 for a 22.
This seems to you like it's pretty standard practice of just there was a hostile creature. They probably knew about it before you did, but couldn't do much about it because of the spider and the other dangers. And they are just now doing their due diligence in the window that they have to protect their own backs.
No, yeah. Lump is not happy, but understands.
Yeah, it's not malicious. It's
She's
it's
got
just
a buddy.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no I in Medusa.
There's a you.
Oh boy.
Moving on.
Do you want us to move around the map, or do you just want to?
No, don't bother. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so with that done, you follow that route. You realize you have to check out that other room. You go up to the top. You go to where the Nihilith was. Reminder that this room was like almost like an elegant garden in this weird place. And when you come in here, you really notice now at this point that there's like the stone basins that are very reminiscent of the ones that you fought the wisps over. But they are filled with some sort of like resin that stops any water flow coming into them, and you get a sense there must have been a sense of pride in this garden. It is well cultivated and well maintained and tended for being so deep underground. It's quite beautiful actually, and but as you come in, you actually notice there's like a sort of floating pollen in the air as well, which would have I definitely missed this. I don't know if it came into play or not, but it would have actually reduced your will saves by 1. It gives you a penalty while in this room. It's called a soporific pollen.
Also, don't make us feel bad about killing the Nihilith just because he was a fucking green thumb. He's also a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That you know of. You didn't actually even talk to the Medusa. You ran up and hit her, knocked her down, and it made her run away without having a conversation, all because she had a bow and an arrow in her hand. So
Yeah.
shut your mouth, Scott.
Damn. Are we the cops?
Yeah.
If you if you want to go back and listen, that's literally what you did. I made you roll for initiative, and you all ran up and started smashing things. And then we had a brief conversation with the Nihilith, but you didn't stand for it because you all have bloodlust.
Someone had to pay for Tulog's death, and it wasn't going to be the right person.
Yeah, we were pretty raring to go after that point.
You are the bloody cops, aren't you?
Yeah.
God damn it.
This will be the starting of the Uncharted North Union.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Get me out of here.
Okay.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, you'll be hearing from our telemarketers.
What's most interesting to all of you in this room is that there is some treasure. There is a Bravos Brew Moderate. You've had minor ones before. So you basically find a little hole, a little cubby or something filled with some treasure. There are 253 silver pieces. There is a topaz gemstone worth 180 gold. I'm gonna throw this in the party stash so it's easier.
Thank
so
you.
don't hurt yourselves. And there is one rune stone that you have not seen before.
Ooh.
Roll me some checks to identify, please.
I do a religion. A 2 for 17.
You are brutal today. This is crazy. Have you rolled above a 3 yet? Or
I rolled an
5?
11 on the warfare lore.
Oh,
but
11,
Before that,
okay.
it was a 6. Yeah, 6 is my high score.
Keep it up until you hear the words initiative.
Yep, that's.
What are we rolling on this?
Yeah.
Poorly.
Anything you want.
26 Arcana.
26 will do it. This is a thundering rune.
Ooh.
So when you attack, when you hit, you deal an extra 1d6 sonic damage on a critical hit. The target must succeed a DC 24 Fortitude or be deafened for 1 minute.
Nice.
Pretty decent thing. If you don't have a property rune attached to your +1 weapons already, it's a that's something that's definitely tempting. I don't think anyone's attached property runes yet.
Yeah,
I do.
rooting.
Oh, rooting. Rooting's one. Oh, yeah.
Shifting.
Yeah.
Shifting.
Oh, shifting. Shifting's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got one too.
But Nick and Ruff can now get 2.
I guess I should recant and say no one has on air gone out of their way to apply a property rune.
Especially just
apparently you've all got one.
Rough came with one.
Everyone came with one, yeah.
I like it throwing it on Ruff just because, shocking grass spam. It seems fun with the boom effect behind it. But, anytime you can throw more dice on a fighter's weapon when they crit is always good too.
Yeah. I'm not partial. Dunk, do you want it for Nick?
I will always take a kaboom, but yeah, if you have no use for it, but otherwise, sure.
It's not that I don't have use for it. It's just it doesn't. I think what it does would stack with a lot of what I do: shocking grasp, electric arc, and again, like Cam said, anytime we can add extra damage to your weapon, considering you crit at least twice a combat, we should probably do that.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go striking, rooting, booming, dancer spear.
Well, we do need to do a craft check to attach it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
Oh, you do? Shit, okay.
yeah, we both do.
I think I misheard you. Okay.
Oh, I did say +1, but I'm bad at math, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to hit hard.
Bad at math and reading.
What are you, me?
All right.
Roll me, or everyone roll me a perception check as you exit this room and venture through the battlefield.
35.
Holy.
Whoa.
I am
Mackerel.
on a roll. I rolled a natural 1.
19.
22.
Nick, where the Dracothics, the flood mushroom creature, arose and died, you notice along this, it's a strangely smooth, rounded wall. It's definitely not natural. You notice in that corner, there is a indentation along the wall.
Ooh.
That looks an awful lot like a particular lens.
Ooh, there's
Whoa.
a lenticular outcropping in this wall.
Lump will just tear open their chest and pull the lens out, dust off the blood, rub it on their
Never
tabard,
gets less weird.
and then press it up against.
Scott's wondering, because Harold wasn't there real quick, because Lump got all fired up for a bit there when the lens was originally in their body.
Yeah.
But now they seem a little more chill. Is it because you're not currently using the
I'm not
power?
invested. Yeah.
Invested. Okay, yeah.
So I'm it's more of a, Freeman's been very generous in letting me kind of just flavor store different things inside my weird fleshy body because of the sleeves and storage. So
Got the lens cover on.
yeah, it's not invested, so that's why I'm not getting as fired up about it.
Copy that.
And you basically discover a secret room to the it's the other secret door to the footprint of the gauntlet. So you discovered it before in that room full of mushrooms next to Caligny. And it's the big swirling light in the middle, and there is that hole in the center that seems to lead down a couple of different levels, but it goes down very, very far. You just find another entrance to that, basically. I think Harold's seeing this for the first time.
Yeah. Harold, this is the footprint of the lighthouse. There is a well that leads further down, but be careful to not touch the light. It is very powerful necrotic void energy.
Looks like an unwell, if anything.
Yes.
By gods.
Hero point.
Yeah,
No doubts
you
in
get
my mind.
Yeah, here point. Yeah, you get that. That's good. So stupid.
But yes, we believe that it is, at least I do, I believe that it is part of the reason that the lighthouse seems to fire that eerie beam. I'm hoping that with the lens that I have, we may be able to cease its function.
Is that hole in the floor about lens sized?
Oh, it's much bigger than that.
Yeah, it's like people size.
Yeah.
Sorry, did the lens just open the door?
Yes.
Yeah, you placed it
Okay.
on the wall, and it just opened a secret door. Yeah.
Got it. Did you store the lens back inside your body again?
Yes.
Harold just turns to Lump as they're closing their body up again and says, "What in the hells did they do to you? I ain't never seen nothing like this."
Well, it's a process known as flesh warping. There's a few different ways that you can go about it. The drow are very fond of doing it to elves. You can understand why I might be a little bit a prejudice against them.
Did they do this to you?
Like I said, I don't want any of my bias to come through, and I think it's best if we just accept the fact that I was originally an elf. I was originally a Knight of Lastwall, and then I joined the Twice Damned, Thrice Blessed, and ended up here.
Now it's starting to make a little more sense. I done heard about them before.
The Knights of Lastwall? Yes, they are quite a large organization.
No, the Twice Damned, Thrice Blessed.
And Lump kind of shakes their head, the helmet kind of almost spinning around a little bit loose on their greasy hair. How are they still around?
Now, I never ran into any of them personally, but being a monster hunter of sorts and hunting the undead, I've met various people from different kind of sects, you could say, in different groups. And this name is just, it's come up before. Legendary of old. How they are now, I couldn't tell you.
I know of a very good coffee house in Katapeshi called Thrice Blessed.
Perhaps we could go visit it afterwards.
Open the same wiki article I did about 30 seconds earlier.
Yep.
And I know of a very seedy brothel called Twice Damned.
Can you explain? I feel like I missed something. Can either of you explain to me what this Twice Damned, Thrice Blessed reference is?
I just made it up.
Okay.
I just made up an undead slayer organization.
Well, in that case,
Twice Damned was a devil, I think. The Twice Damned Prince.
there is, yeah. In that case, you both can have a hero point for just improving and collabing on that. It's great. I love it.
You improv'd so hard, everybody else at the table thought you were talking about a real thing.
Yep.
For real, I was Googling. It was like, what are they referencing?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. You know what? You can both have 2 hero points. How about
Oh, I'm
that?
full. What the fuck? I've never. Freeman's so
Should be
generous. What
spending
the hell?
them.
What's
Taking them
coming?
and spending them.
What's coming? What's coming? Why is Freeman so generous?
Twice Damned, Thrice Blessed. Okay, I'll tell you what, Cam. You can have 1 temporary 4th hero point.
Oh, sweet.
Whoa,
Damn.
wah wah wee wah.
Thrice Blessed, my friend.
Aw. Nice. You can take a cam point.
Nice. I was fishing.
Unless you reroll a nat 1 on a save, so you don't critically fail against
I
me.
need you to roll it on the temporary one is on your next d20 roll. So
All right, sounds
think
good.
wisely. Yeah, auto used.
I roll a nat 20, had to reroll, get a nat 1. Fuck!
Whee! Everyone roll me another perception check for perhaps this big ass cavern that you fought the spider in.
23.
25.
I roll a 16, reroll using a hero point. I rolled a 33.
Oh,
Nice.
baby.
Finally.
For that. Yeah, so basically, you notice that the spider has already been, the dead body of it, the corpse has already been tampered with. It looks like they've drawn some of the venom out of its face and its fangs and its glands. Some of the pieces have been cut away. The warden has been at work to reap the benefits of this kill. You also notice, quite over here, that this is the blocked, barricaded door that leads to the Caligny home. You couldn't move from the other side. but you could very much do. It's a bit time consuming, but you could do it. It's not difficult. You could make your way through that door.
I think Lump will wait until the Drow are out of here, just because they still don't know if the Caligny and Drow are going to be buddies or if this is an on-site situation, and doesn't want to be responsible for any beef. And so we'll clear that out later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, there are way more Calignies, and I think they would just tear the shit out of these drow.
In this specific thing, but we don't know how many are back at the outpost, and that could start a war.
We'll be gone by then.
That's true. I mean, like, we don't have to care, but, you know, Lump...
The problem for the next Shaiken.
That would definitely be a very chaotic, neutral thing to do, is just start a war and then just be like,
Yeah.
free loot, free loot. Just come back through, pick the battlefield.
Yeah, just sell all the weapons. You're just gonna be You're just gonna be that movie Lord of War. You're just gonna be selling weapons to the whatever side needs the most.
Oh, fuck, can we play that adventure next? Lord of War, starring Nirkash.
So Harold is going to turn to Nick. Now, what's your sight in the dark here like?
Oh, I see clearly. Is there something I can help you with?
Please. I was just wondering if you had a chance to look down that there chasm with that big ladder that leads down. You had a chance just to poke your head over the edge and see what's yonder?
Oh, I can tell you that hole is very deep and very dark.
And it leads to another massive, as far as you know, another massive cavern filled with rocks and mushrooms. And you get a slight glimpse at the bottom of the ladder, because you kind of see over different parts of that. There's a bridge there, right? But there's this big ladder that leads down. There's a bridge. You kind of look over both sides. You get the slightest glimpse of a structure, like a lodge kind of structure, a roofed building.
Pulls his head into the hole. Oh, there appears to be a building down there. And I hope you like more rocks and mushrooms.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I was just more worried about the inhabitants, but I guess we'll just have to find out once we get down there.
Yes, I didn't see or hear anything move, but no doubt there's more fun to be found.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate your keen eyes. I can't see shit down here, to be honest.
The next level down is called the Hunting Cavern. So if there is in fact a lodge, it would make sense to have a central outpost to hunt the wilds down below.
So it's a hunting lodge. Interesting. In the last third room, we can get that description.
No, again, unexplored area.
Oh, the third room. Okay.
You gotta rest first. Yeah.
With that, I guess we can go bed down for the night and do some watches. I guess clear that out before we follow the drow. Maybe get them to help us with it. But yeah, I do have something during the night if we have time.
Yeah.
All right.
Get to it. A good way to end the episode. What do you got?
Okay. So basically, as it comes Lump's turn to take watch, they duck into the room away from everybody after making sure everyone's asleep, and they cast Pernicious Poltergeist and try to form it into the shape of Tulok and just kind of sit there and stare at it for a bit.
If I may, Cam, there's like this really obvious balcony in the forward outpost here that has like transparent stone, but there's a curtain that's drawn across. That's why you couldn't see in before. So it's like a really good area to have a private moment if you want to be there.
Yeah, sure. And so Lump will pull the curtain aside, just counting on their motion sense to see if anything moves inside. And just kind of look at this vaguely Tulok-shaped apparition, just kind of swallow, trying to work up the words, just feeling intense levels of guilt at just kind of pushing them forward and not being able to do more to save, one of the people that was the first one to believe and accept them, and just kind of mutter under their breath, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna make it up to you one day. I promise. I'm gonna find a way to get you back, to bring you back here, because you deserve to live. And I'm the one that should have died. I'm the one that should have died. There's nobody waiting for me. There's nobody hoping for me to return. And I'm sorry that I pushed so hard. I'm sorry that I let the winds kind of get the better of me. And I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And Lump just kind of sits there sustaining the spell, watching this apparition just stare down wordlessly at them. Not feeling any sort of forgiveness from themselves or the apparition.
And as you have this empty moment, maybe it's not empty, you're trying to get something out, you're releasing some emotion here, but you're not getting the feedback you want. The distinct smell of brimstone enters your nostrils, and a handsome, dark-winged humanoid man wielding hammers that are lit with fire just appears at the corner of your eye. And you just hear a familiar voice. Lump, you're nearly in breach of your contract. And that's what we're going to call it.
Twice damned.
Oh, you. Stemming the Tide is an actual play podcast of the Adventure Path Abomination Vaults and is produced by the Uncharted North Network. Stemming the Tide uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Stemming the Tide is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Music is composed by Will Savino and artwork by Greyhood. Stemming the Tide is recorded remotely using Foundry Virtual Tabletop. If you wish to connect with us or support this project and projects to come, we can be found at unchartednorth.ca, patreon.com/unchartednorth, and on all major social media platforms. Links to all credits can be found in the episode description and our website. Thanks for tuning in.